Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer action, and for some reason the lighting on this map is really weird. The front of that tank looks really dark. Anyway, we're here today with the Empire, going to be taking on the Greenskins, and managed to match up against Slade X on ladder, well known for being a very good Greenskins player. I'm playing as the Empire, which is probably my best faction, so we are definitely in for a wild time. Let's get to the builds. Of course, I've got 4 Pistoliers here. Going to be doing some skirmishing with these Wolf Rider Archers and the Mangy Marauders. Just very quickly, I would like to tell you guys, I have been playing a bit of Rome 2 on the side for fun. I've been playing a nomadic faction recently, trying to get my Missile Cav micro up, and so this situation is going to be great for me. I'm going to be able to wreck those Wolf Riders. Anyway, back to the rest of the army here. We've got Goblins, Savage Orcs, Black Orcs through the center, Grimgore, Ironhide, we know, of course, very good choice. Night Goblins here, Orc Airboys, Rusty Airs, Orc Airboys, as well as an Orc Shaman. So the double Spellcaster, looking like Wand of Jet here, and we've got the Zappa, and over here we've got Brain Bursta. Got Orc Boarboy Biggins in the back, including the Broken Tusk Mob, and a single Spider Rider. For myself, the Steam Tank on the hill, we've got State Troops, again, those Pistoliers, a couple Empire Knights, and then hidden in the woods here, we've got Zintler's Reichsguard, supported by the Archlector, Jade Wizard, and a Witch Hunter. So, yeah, you can see here we were able to clean up those Wolf Riders no problem, and just going to get the general melee engagement underway here very soon. I've been using the main gun of the Steam Tank to go after those Broken Tusk Mobs, since they are a pretty high value unit of Cav. You can definitely get some good value there. Meanwhile, over here, the Empire Knights and the Reichsguard starting to charge downhill. Sorry about the weird lighting again, folks. This map's a little bit awkward, but certainly the sky looks cool. And it does make the Hammers of Sigmar stand out as these guys get absolutely crushed. Those Goblins definitely took a beating there, and just in a single charge, they're going to be wiped off the field. And yeah, you can see we use the Shield of Faith. Not quite the Hammer of Sigmar yet, but here comes the Empire Knights. They're going to get a nice rear charge here on these Savage Orcs. Meanwhile, on the front line, Black Orcs engaging on Spearmen. Night Goblins pushing through into the second line. These Black Orcs are also going to be able to get on the Steam Tank, which isn't the best for me. But Wob being popped now, probably a little bit late. Would have liked to have seen that a little bit sooner, but at the same time, this is going to give a really nice timing push all across the field with everyone engaged, giving a ton of value. Over here, these Orc Boarboy Biggins did rush in to try and support some of this Empire Cav. I've got all the prayer buffs going off, as well as some healing as well. I'm pretty confident that we can win out in this situation. Some Spearmen also supporting that fight. And you can see I've been able to get back into the Daka line here. These Swordsmen getting back, cutting up these Orc Airboys. Some Night Goblins mixed in there as well, the Rusty Airs, of course. But yeah, just the fact that we've been able to collapse this second line so heavily has been pretty advantageous for me. Pistoliers also have been just harassing around the flanks as well. Broken Tusk Mob are still fighting though, and likewise both casts are still online, and of course Grimgore himself in absolute danger. These Swordsmen did come in here to try and support this Steam Tank. Steam Tank's been getting some good damage done on the Black Orcs, but it has been taking some damage as well. I have not been using my Witch Hunter because I'm just, you know, being silly. I don't know. Totally forgot about him, but this is a bit of a problem. I definitely don't want the Archlector to get caught by Grimgore, so I'm going to try and stay out in front as much as I can. Here we're going to drop a rear charge from the Zintler's Reichsguard, although this does potentially leave me vulnerable to getting chunked at by Grimgore. You can see the Boarboy Biggins are also going to rear charge here, so a nice little escalation. We're going to get a little bit of a pitched engagement here. The Orc Airboys give out, but the Empire State Troop Swordsmen do stay and fight, which is very advantageous. I'm going to pull those Reichsguard out with the Archlector, though, because, again, I don't necessarily want to just sit and fight Grimgore. Over here on the high ground, the Steam Tank's been running over Black Orcs. Almost got an XP Chevron. Has taken a lot of damage, though, so we're going to dump a regrowth into it to try and keep it online. Over here, these Black Orcs over-chasing on some Spearmen, which is just fine with me. We've got Empire Knights coming back to try and charge out these Black Orcs now that they're low. And over here, the Greenskins main line, you can see, is crumpled pretty badly outside of those Black Orcs. Nice Brain Burster here, going to take out some of those Spearmen, but we've been able to take out, or at least rout off, most of the Archers at the very least. Here, though, the Zintler's Reichsguard get caught up in a really bad situation. The Spider Riders are able to pin them in, Mangy Marauders as well. The Savage Orcs come in and do a bunch of damage, and just because the Zintler's Reichsguard are so low, it's going to be a bit of a problem. But Grimgore is also in here now, which is going to potentially be a huge problem for the Archlector, so I definitely need to try and get him out as quickly as possible. Over here, this Night Goblin Shaman caught up by spears. Hopefully we can try and rout him off, potentially, but let's see. Jade Wizard here getting caught up by Black Orcs, also not great. And I think I missed it, but the steam tank, nope, the steam tank's still fighting here. It's going to be using some of its shots to go after those mangy marauders there. And yeah, Pistolier's going to move up as well to try and go after some of this Greenskins light cav. I definitely want to keep the Archlector away from Grimgore, and I'm going to need to finish off those Spider Riders and like these mangy marauders if I am to do that. They might accidentally shoot some of these goblins instead, though, which is honestly okay. The regiment around goblins are a decently high-value target as well. But you can see I'm using the Shield of Faith here just to try and keep the Archlector alive as Benny Hill runs away from Grimgore. Grimgore just, you know, chomping his teeth, just absolutely furious that he can't catch up, which is, you know, to be expected for an infantry lord. But anyway, if you take kind of an overarching look here, you can see there are units scattered all over the battlefield here, sort of rallying for the Greenskins. Balance power slightly in the Greenskins' favor after everything, and part of that is the fact that the steam tank is so low, and Grimgore's coming now, which is, uh-oh. Is Grimgore just going to climb up on top, open up the hatch, and start, you know, just swirling his mace or his axe around on the inside? Pretty much. That's what I was expecting. So I'm going to go ahead and try and bail out the steam tank, but unfortunately, some of the friendly fire from those Pistoliers actually just finished it off there. So yeah, I had been moving my Jade Wizard over to try and dump one more regrowth into it, but losing that tank is going to be a big problem. That was my, you know, source of terror, and also potentially had quite a bit of damage to get done in the late game with the armor-piercing anti-infantry, and I still had quite a bit of ammo left as well, so that was bad. Though we have been able to rout off the Orc Shaman here, and it's mostly just Grimgore at this point. I mean, there are still some supporting archers. The Mangy Marauders have used up most of their ammo and still do have quite a few unit models left, 46 models left there, which is not too bad. So we'll see. It's definitely still dead even after just minutes of slugging it out. I mean, a solid 6.5 minutes of duking it out. It is still very much an even battle. And yeah, we'll see how things kind of shake out here. But the zap goes through. Does not zap the Witch Hunter. The Witch Hunter is actually going to get involved now, and you can see him kind of kiting Grimgore. Let's see. Grimgore has 38 speed, whereas the Witch Hunter only has 34. So Grimgore will eventually be able to catch up with the Witch Hunter, but because the Witch Hunter can shoot 360, he can kind of do this, which is... Grimgore looks like he ran over up on the other side of the hill, which is not the best. Can't hit him there, but yeah, the Witch Hunter just going to stay focused on Grimgore, try and pick away at his HP, because I really don't have anything that can take Grimgore in melee realistically at this point. I was hoping to just juice up the steam tank with prayers in the late game, which is kind of hilarious if you stop and think about it, but I mean, I guess it's the tank crew that are getting the prayers, right? But anyway, at this point, yeah, the Witch Hunter is one of my only tools that I can really use to take down Grimgore, so we are going to pop some pistol shots into him. I mean, he's not a witch, but he is a big foul orc, so the Witch Hunter definitely going to be able to do some good armor-piercing damage in the late game here. Meanwhile, kind of the rest of the battlefield, the Pistolier is just being used to chase off routing units and kind of go after tattered units as much as possible. I don't really have any heavy cavalry left. Most of my Empire Knights and Reichsguard are gone at this point. We did just finish off some of those goblins there, though, so we've got these state troops now that can then come in and surround these tattered black orcs. Hopefully finish them off. You can see down here on the low ground, the mass Pistolier charge does rout off these savage orcs here, kind of bail out these spearmen a little bit against these goblins. But Grimgore has been in melee long enough to get another Wa going, so he now gets it going. That's going to be a nice little timing push, especially for all these units as they kind of countercharge in here. The Broken Tusk Mob are able to get in here, get into some of the Pistoliers and the Spearmen as well. Meanwhile, up on the high ground, this unit of Black Orcs is completely surrounded by state troops, all getting juiced up by prayers, and they are very, very tattered at this point. They're going to go ahead and give up the fight, which is great for me. That's a nice, heavy unit off the field. And the Witch Hunter continuing to use up his ammo, just plinking Grimgore. He's used up about half of his ammo so far, which is super, super decent. So Broken Tusk Mob, going to try and chase him down, put a stop to that. But since we just finished off these Black Orcs now, I can use one of these units to chase them. I'm going to send these Swordsmen and then grab these two Spearmen to come in support against the Pigs. The Pistoliers as well moving in just to keep them bogged up for the time being and keep them from getting too much damage on the Witch Hunter. Archlector comes in, just absolutely decks one of those Broken Tusk Mob with his dual hammers. And yeah, that's going to be the end of that. At this point, it's just Grimgore and his shamans, pretty much. I think everything else is pretty much shattered. I mean, I guess there's this other shaman over here as well. The Mangy Marauders might come back from rout, but Yeah, it's still going to be very, very close. And oh man, here comes Grimgore again for the Witch Hunter. We know he's a little bit faster. He does catch him here, gets a good attack there. It does a ton of HP damage. And yeah, Grimgore just so angry about everything. Definitely wants that Witch Hunter's head. And he can just like push through those state troops straight up. Just push through those state troops, get in, get another massive attack here. And that's not great. Meanwhile, I'm going to be going after these units in the back line here. These Spider Riders, going after them with the Archlector. He doesn't necessarily have the best stats, but he can certainly deal with a light cav unit like this. Get some nice splash attacks in. The Pistoliers also helping to support as well. They're going to get routed off relatively easily, but yeah, we're also going to try and take out the Shaman if we can. Another really nice Brain Burster from the Orc Shaman this time. Just did a ton of damage to those state troops. And you can see this Witch Hunter is not happy about life. I mean, granted, he's been able to do a ton of HP damage to Grimgore, so definitely worth it at the end of the day. Between that Brain Burster and that nice rear charge, these Broken Tusk Mob were able to rout those Spearmen off. So despite everything, it's still very, very even after 10 minutes of slugging it out. This is what it's all about, folks. This is, oh man, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this game. Let's just say that much. You can see over here these swordsmen regrouping. We're going to potentially go after the Orc Shaman. The Archlector as well going to go after the Orc Shaman. Make note of this over here. These swordsmen that are chasing these Black Orcs off, very important. I definitely don't want those Black Orcs coming back from routing. These Spider Riders are also going to be sent to chase them off as well, so we'll see. Nice little Brain Burster there. It doesn't do too much because of the spaghetti lining, but oh man, that Orc Shaman's a big boy. He's like just as tall as the Archlector on the horse. But the Archlector will be able to shatter him, and at this point, it's pretty much just Grimgore. There are a few pigs over here, some regrouped spears able to drag down probably a few more of them. Yep, there goes one, and another over there, and looks like they're going to be having some boar ribs tonight, battered boar ribs. And with them getting shattered, that means a lot of these units over in this vicinity are going to go ahead and rally, so yeah, we'll see. At this point, we're going to fast forward a little bit as the Spider Riders come in. I'm going to try and cycle charge Grimgore as much as I can with the Archlector, but the Archlector, anytime he takes hits, is really, really bad. We do manage to finish off the Spider Riders there, get some shots from the Pistoliers, but yeah. You remember that group of swordsmen I was talking about earlier? Well, they managed to beat... I guess the Spider Riders were probably pulled back, right? But they chased off those Black Orcs, and they are currently forgotten there. That's going to be very, very important in just a minute, as Grimgore is trying to finish off the last of these state troops here. Comes in, gets a good attack on the Archlector there, and you can see the Archlector's getting really low at this point. We do have a Hammer of Sigmar on these Spearmen. They're able to get a little bit of damage done, but we're going to continue on the fast forward, as it is a little bit of a grind in this last stage here. You can see the Archlector actually gets a couple chunks and routes. That is going to put a significant dent in the balance power. Once he comes back, it does come back, but thankfully for me, I did have that secret, forgotten unit of state troops that managed to hold things from completely going off the rails. So yeah, at this point, we're both just going to kind of rest up for a minute there as I bring these swordsmen forward for the final engagement. These spearmen thought about rallying, but then they decided, we've seen enough for today. So yeah, here comes the final engagement though. You can see slightly in the Greenskins' favor, the prayer buffs come in. Both prayer buffs do affect these swordsmen here, but the Archlector gets 100% killed. Keep in mind though that the Hammer of Sigmar is still active. Grimgore's taking hits, and suddenly his leadership starts to give out. He goes below 300 HP, and how about that? Those state troop swordsmen take the finish in what has to be one of the closest battles I have ever played in my years of playing Total War Warhammer. Like, holy cow, those swordsmen in the late game there, absolute MLGs, and what a wild game, man, just all over the place. Good plays on both sides, a few mistakes on both sides as well, but that's kind of how it goes in these kind of, bang-bang type games. But yeah, super, super well played to SladeX. Big thanks for the game. It was very, very fun. And in the late game there, yeah, the Archlector just juicing up those swordsmen to finish off Grimgore. And you can see in general, the state troops just performed pretty well. Matched up against the Savage Orcs and against the Goblins, juiced up with the prayer buffs and with heavy cav support, they will perform quite decently. And even like Spearmen with 77 kills, that's really cost effective. Considering that Spearmen are the same price as Goblins, you can definitely consider that very cost effective. 84 kills on an XP Chevron on the steam tank. Would have liked to have healed it up a little bit more. That was definitely a mistake, and I could have probably cleaned up the battle a little bit quicker if I hadn't done that, but hey, you live and learn. All the heavy cav did some heavy lifting as well. 59, 65, 103 kills. Just nice kills spread all around. And same thing with the pistoliers. Nice kills spread all around. 52, 50, 42, and 37. As for Slade's Greenskins here, of course, Grimgore, it's heavy lifting, 74 kills. Let's see here, 114 for these Black Orcs, only 41 for these Black Orcs, but they got some chevronage going. I'm assuming they're the ones who did the majority of the damage to the steam tank. But yeah, the archer line ended up being a little bit rough because the Savage Orcs crumbled very quickly, and the Goblins did as well. I was able to get into the back line and shut down the Orc Air boys and the Rusty Airs pretty quickly. That being said, the light cav for the Greenskins, outside of this initial Wolf Rider, which was very rough, like 84 kills and some XP chevrons for these Spider Riders. They did a super good job. The heavy cav here, the Broken Tusk Mob, also did great. 90 kills as well on the Mangy Marauders. These guys are one of the best missile cav units in the game. Super underrated in my opinion. Very, very good. So yeah, match pretty much speaks for itself. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Again, big thanks to Slade. That was an awesome game, man. GG indeed. If you guys like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. If you want to support my channel in a more personal way, be sure to support me on Patreon or become a channel member. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.